Fighting games are getting some content we've been waiting for a while for, huh?
Yeah,
I'm rather pleased after a couple weeks of having no news, we've got three very big news bits this week.
yeah, and also some interesting discussion to be had about things maybe
All right.
because of the roundtable. Yeah,
Perhaps we should first hit
the news
oh, excuse me.
probably. I don't know.
Yeah, the one
Yeah,
I'd say we should first hit the one news topic that it's unlikely either of us will play the game, actually get to grips with it for, but nonetheless, it is something worth bringing up. Which is the last DLC character of Season 1 for Guilty Gear Strive has been announced and shown off, and I think released by now. Testament!
yeah, and so here's a swerve that neither of us knew, but apparently this has been a known thing for a while that just didn't get translated apparently. But Testament has been out as indigenous since like 2004 or something like that. That's when
But
Daisuke,
only in Japan.
yeah, but only in Japan. So yeah. And then I don't know if it was recently retranslated because of Testament's new reveal, or if it got translated before and people just kind of glanced over it. But yeah, that's the Testament has, according to Daisuke, ascended above gender. Good for them. That is
I
that is legitimately
think
what Daisuke said, or at least according to
I
the
know.
translation.
I know. I think they kind of had their hands forced a little bit with this one because Testament now, like, Testament was always a little androgynous, but now the Strive design is just like super androgynous. Like Testament always showed off their legs, but Strive Testament is like, whoa, leg city, right?
Yeah. Although it does make me wonder if we ever get Bridget back and what the fan reception will be. Because like,
Uh,
because Bridget's whole shtick in life is being misunderstood.
yeah, Bridget, I think, is probably gonna be fine. I think by now Bridget already has that. Like Bridget's for decades now had that reputation of get sexualized as a girl by the fans, regardless of what Bridget's actual gender is, which is very much male.
I mean, not only is it his actual gender, it's also the gender he identifies as, which is the big
Yeah,
part. Because like, he could, like, he could be trans and just because fucking the Guilty Gear is supposed to put apocalyptic, just not being able to transition, but he's not. The only reason he dresses like a girl is because of lore, pretty much.
because he never stopped for some reason.
Yeah. I hope that freaking Bridget's design in Strive, if he gets added to Strive, is just like I want him to look like Zangief, but still have the non outfit.
Yeah, the yo-yos have been turned into like weights.
Yeah. Well, no, the yo-yo has been refitted into Soul's sword. So instead of that, like after Soul took away Bridget's yo-yo, Bridget had to learn how to grab people. He's a grab character now.
The teddy bear is also muscular now.
Yes, the teddy bear is his tech partner.
Yeah. Uh, I
But
I
yeah,
do hear the Testament is fun once people actually get to grips with them.
yeah. Testament seems like I don't know. Testament lost things that I liked about them, and then is pretty much just a zoner from what I saw. And it's like, well, I'm disappointed, but not any more than I usually am by default with Strive. So
Yeah, it's how Strive ordinarily works. Yeah, trying to refine characters to just one archetype. I assume Testament does not have quite the amount of insane, invisible trap insanity
there is none,
that they had. What?
no traps.
What? That I that makes no sense to me. I think of Testament as one of the definitive trap characters in fighting games. No pun intended.
I mean, no, I don't think it's a pun. Bridget would be a trap. Testament is like somewhere between the two, or we don't actually know above it all. So I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not trying to come off as either or. They're not really fooling you. Bridget would be a tribe character because Bridget doesn't actually like Bridget is male and thinks as, or it identifies as such.
Yeah. Also,
Anyway,
top
yeah,
hat.
yeah, top hat. I mean, their whole
It's
outfit
simple, but
is
it does add a lot to Testament's design for some
yeah,
reason.
their whole outfit is pretty great. I like it. It's very swanky.
I
But
appreciate the designs in Guilty Gear getting slowly more insane with each game.
yeah, I hope like Johnny will probably be season 2 DLC 1. I hope his coat is made of belts, nothing but belts.
What, like Lulu's dress in Final Fantasy X?
Sure, I don't remember,
I gotta bring that up. That one's the most insane Tetsuya Nomura design ever because it's just so Tetsuya Nomura.
but like I just want I want Johnny's design to just be belts, and he has one big like skull and crossbones on his crotch, and that's it. The only actual piece of clothing he has is his hat and the sunglasses, I guess.
I'm gonna put this in recording text, so get a load of this thing.
Ah, yes,
Do you think Nomura had his dick in his hands when he was drawing that?
maybe.
And he wasn't even staring at the cleavage.
I mean, look, I like belts, but what?
It's an inspired choice, that's for certain.
I mean, like, why not go the whole way then? Why give her any clothing? Make it all belts. She can just make it all belts. Like, no, don't even use any material. Just make it belts. Why?
Be careful there. Eventually, Nomura's just gonna have a design that's a gigantic, like endowed woman with one belt over the nipples, one belt kind of striped across a leg over the vagina, and that's it.
But I mean,
We need
from
to
what I
make
could,
sure this recording never gets to Nomura because I may have just given him the idea of his lifetime.
but I mean, like with this design, it just looks like like the front part of her dress is just belts. So like, why not just have the same like this is the same fall, like have an actual clothing, but it's just made of belts at that point.
Yeah, I guess maybe because she's supposed to be like a witch of some kind, it's supposed to be like, oh, witches are weird. Maybe
I
I
guess.
doubt Nomura put that much thought into it. Fuck, wasn't there a Sora outfit in one of the Kingdom Hearts games where he's wearing like 4 belts?
No, that's Donald.
That would still
Donald.
make sense, yeah.
No, it's not belts. I'm mixing it up. Donald has a zipper on his head for no
Right,
reason.
right. The zippers in Kingdom Hearts 2, that's what it was. Sora's got zippers all over his damn outfit.
Yeah.
God, Nomura's a weirdo.
I
Either
can
which
diss
way.
him too much because he influenced my taste. So,
Yeah. All right.
but yeah.
Now
So
let's hit the
Testament.
next.
Just to finish off on them. Testament. It seems to be like a zoner-ish. Like Testament is like a weird mix of zoner and rushdown where they can, they have like good set play, like long range set play that they can teleport to and then beat the shit out of you.
All right.
So it's not it's different, maybe better. I don't know. I never learned how to play Testament properly, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, you don't. The way we always play Guilty Gear, you only really need to know two moves. How do I put down the invisible tree? How do I put the invisible web?
No. That's how you played them. I played them as geese. Testament has no moves aside from parry and like whatever the flying attack was. There was like a jumping side slash that they had.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right. Now, when do we discuss the thing you've always wanted?
King of Fighters 15
Now,
officially banned in Mexico. Officially.
Oh my god.
I
So
saw
anyways, Rugal's in KOF.
yeah, I saw a picture edit of an article that was like Mexico president I don't remember the person's name announces sanctions against Japan for introducing Rugal to King of Fighters 15.
Not just Rugal's back, but also there's a special Rugal mode where you have to fight Rugal as brutal as ever.
Yeah, and they called it in the trailer. They called it like the computer from hell or whatever.
CPU from hell.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
CPU from hell. I also really liked.
Uh,
I also really liked how the teaser was just genocide cutter. There was no other moves in that teaser. It was just genocide cutter, and that's all you need to know.
he did two God presses or whatever they're called. I'm forgetting
Gigantic
the
pressure.
name. Gigantic pressure. There you go. Well, isn't the super version called God press?
I don't know. The super version is gigantic pressure. I don't actually remember the name of the normal variant.
All right.
But yeah, like they announced the boss Rugal and the boss Rugal's outfit. I don't like it because the shoulders are a bit too much. It looks too much.
Yeah.
It looks too wow.
Mm-mm.
But I
You don't
like
need
how
to use it.
that's true. But then I also like I prefer Rugal in the coat, and that's the only way he has a coat, which is the problem. But yeah, so
Yeah,
I like
Fishnet
how
Rugal at some point became the one that SNK decided, oh yeah, this is the one we're sticking with. And it's just weird.
I mean, not only that one, because it makes sense because they're only using Omega Rugal now for some reason. That's the thing that I don't like, because the Rugal I like is classic Rugal, which is why I prefer him in the code. But then in '94, I think '94 or '95, I forget which one he was the which one this thing happened then. But he's normal coded Rugal in the first round, and then if you beat him, then he takes off the coat, and then he turns into Omega Rugal with the fishnets.
Yeah.
So like it makes sense, but the thing is like I just prefer normal rules fighting style because I played a lot of CVS 2, and that's it.
Yeah.
And like there's not a lot of difference between the two, but there's enough that it bothers me sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah,
anyway, yeah.
I would generally agree, though I think it, like for me personally, it's sad, just a little like thing of like, yeah, I'd prefer the suit, but I'll take any variant of Rugal I can get at this point.
Yeah, that's true. Like I'm just like I would have bought him in the as DLC, and he's free. And that's the big thing.
Yeah. That is a pretty big shock. Yeah, that he's just free outright. One of the most demanded returning characters in KOF ever, and he's free. You know?
Look, people have to get stabbed in Mexico. They have to.
Yeah. SNK was just looking at the murder rates in Mexico and went, these are too low.
Yeah. Not enough people. Not enough people are getting stabbed in front of like video game bars.
Laundromats.
Yeah. Well, no, because the laundromats wouldn't have KOF 15.
That's true.
Well, no, you get pissed in the video game bar, and then you take the guy to the laundromat and stab them there, just for
Yeah.
old time's sake.
Here's where I stabbed your father 20 years ago.
Oh no! Now whoever is getting stabbed is gonna steal the stabber's kids.
You're my child now.
And then the stabber will fall out of a building from the top of a skyscraper.
Quick, talk about Rugal. I need to check on something real quick.
All right. So yeah, Rugal. I really liked how uh the part of his trailer that showed off the SNK boss difficulty version of Rugal was legitimately just like here's genocide cutter, And then also after like half a minute of just genocide cutter, they're like, oh yeah, he has other moves too. Like the AI actually does combos. It's not just input 3 genocide cutter. It's just mostly input 3 genocide cutter. That was a great decision. Like it wasn't what I would call professional, but it served them well because it drove the point home. It was a bit of familiarity to make sure that people get what's up. And then
Sorry about that. I
all right.
suddenly occurred to me that I left the back door open.
Ah, so you went and put on pants. I see.
All right. Yes, Rugal is back. And how long have we been asking for this? Probably as long as we've been recording.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's pretty much like my thing is that whenever you're looking for a guest character for your fighting game, Akuma and Rugal, choose.
Meh.
No, those are your options. But yeah, like we've been asking for Rugal, yeah, pretty well since we've been recording.
I mean, like, he's one of the classic KOF characters, and he's just been missing since 2002, you know?
I mean, not only is he one of the classic KOF characters, he's he is, at least in my opinion, up there as one of the classic fighting game bosses.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
like if I think of classic fighting game bosses, I don't really think of Geese as much for KOF because Geese is not as much of an asshole. That's pretty much it. Like Geese is a worse. I don't actually know if Geese is a worse person in the lore. Geese is a worse person to Terry in the lore. Rugal is actually evil. Like Rugal is legitimately a Bond villain.
Yeah, pretty well. Uh, if is one thing to say in Rugal's favor, I don't think Adelaide hates Rugal as much as Rock hates Geese.
But I mean, do we even know why Rock hates Geese in the KOF timeline? Because Geese isn't dead.
Now, Geese isn't dead, but Geese is also a prick.
That is true.
Yeah, Geese. Rugal is such a brutal boss, especially because the Genocide Cutter and a lot of his boss incarnations take off all your health. Geese, I could see being brutal back in the Fatal Fury days just because of his parry.
Yeah.
Because if the CPU wanted to make it so, it could make it where you can never hit Geese. Just fuck you.
I mean,
Predictable.
that's true. But at the same time, you have to consider that the Geese's parry is an actual parry move. It makes sense that it would apply it to input read and shit. Rugal used the genocide cutter the same way. He would just input read you and then do whatever version of the genocide cutter was faster than whatever move you were throwing out.
That is true.
Like that,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah.
I'm not going to be playing CPU from hell mode.
I will.
Ooh.
It has to be done. We need to hack in 94 Kyo with the fireballs, and then freaking and then do
You
the
mean
do.
Iori?
Well, yeah, but Iori doesn't have the same normals
That is true.
because there was a way to abuse Rugal's AI with Kyo very easily, from what I remember. But relatively easily, you know. It was a lot easier than actually trying to beat him normally.
Yeah.
It was still a bit RNG from what I remember, but still. So yeah, and let's see, with KOF 15, there's also they like I guess this could be an interesting discussion of. I've seen people asking for guest characters. Namely, people have been asking for there to be a World Warriors team, and I don't know. What do you think of the idea? I guess.
I mean, it's not really in the KOF tradition on some level, but at the same time, one could easily argue that pretty well all the classic KOF characters outside of guys like Kyo are guest characters, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's true, but the thing is, like I get
Oh, that
why,
worked. God damn it.
like I get why you would ask for a Street Fighter team in King of Fighters, but at the same
Because
time,
people want CVS3.
yeah, I was going to say I would just prefer CVS3, but then like who would make it?
Ryu, Chun-Li,
No, not
Guile,
no, I don't mean like that. I mean, who would make CVS3? Like who would develop it? But
Capcom. Like, we already saw SNK's attempt at handling it with SVC Chaos, which was
oh yeah,
not
that's
bad, but
true.
wasn't great either.
Yeah, that's true. Uh, so yeah, so there's that bit of news. There was some other news that I forgot about. I remember there being news. I just don't remember what they are. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Definitive update for Street Fighter, but we should probably hit that after other news, I guess.
Yeah, there was something else that I remember, but I don't know what.
I
Hmm,
don't remember there being a whole lot of news other than Rugal, Testament, and Street Fighter, honestly. Was there news on the Dragon Ball front?
not really. I don't think.
Uh,
What was it?
DNF Duel, I've not been paying attention to that.
I mean, I think that's close to coming out, but I don't know if that would be the news. I remember maybe. Honestly, I don't know.
And no news for Skullgirls, right?
Not yet. They're still working on Umbrella.
She seems like she's been in beta for forever.
Yeah. I guess the other bit of news is that to mimic the Japanese fighting games roundtable, someone is getting together on indie fighting games roundtable as well, which is a thing. None
Huh.
there is no developer as of yet that we actually know, and like you would be like, oh, that makes sense, but still you could get the old Lab Zero guys probably, or some of the other people who have made it, to have contrast with the people who are trying to make it as well, or like the people who made
Yeah.
Them's Fighting Hurts, who may be the same people, I don't know.
Them's Fighting Herds is from Lab Zero.
Ah, okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know who you would get aside from them, I guess, but still, it's so far I
Lab
think that
Zero,
yeah,
the Fight of Gods and Fight of Animals guys, which, of course, like, there's all kinds of things to complain about with their games and say that they're low budget, low quality, low whatever. But at the end of the day, they have produced two fighting games that did numbers.
yeah,
And I believe they are also African, so they would probably also be brought in for diversity value. Let's see. French bread is now too big to count,
yeah.
but there probably are like all oddball on the side anime. What's it, they always call those little anime side games that?
Dojin Fighters.
Well, that's not exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for it's some kind of term basically insulting their money.
Oh, Poverty.
Poverty fighters, yeah, poverty. There's probably all kinds of Japanese poverty fighters they could try and bring in. But yeah, if they're trying to stick to indie devs for fighting games, they're probably going to do a lot of Westerners, aren't they?
Yeah, it's so for it's three teams that I have no idea who they are or what they made. Like the games were listed, I just never heard of them, which I guess checks out, but still.
Would they be able to include the Fantasy Strike guys in that group?
Oh, here it is. I found that thing. The participants so far are Monochrome Soft, Metrified, Kaizen Creed, and Andrea Jans Demetrio, and that's it. Those are the confirmed
Wait,
participants so far.
I'm trying to look up Monochrome Soft, and I'm okay. Yeah, the first thing that Google brings up is their Twitch. Not their Twitch, their Twitter. So yeah, these are real small guys. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like, which is good to see them get some eyes put on them.
yeah. I just think like it would probably serve better with the advertising side if you could get some of the bigger indie devs that people have actually heard of to push up these guys as well.
That would be good, but
Maybe not
I
feasible.
mean, yeah, it depends on feasibility. Lab Zero would definitely be the one they'd want to prioritize for that.
Yeah, or I think they're all
Because
called Autumn games now. I don't remember.
that, yeah, I can understand them wanting to drop the zero part. Anything else?
No, I think that's all of the news that I gathered.
All right, then the definitive update. Have you got to grips with it yet?
Yes.
So I hear it makes some new stuff for people and things.
Yes, it's basically if you knew how to combo with a character so far, that became easier. That's it. just
Ah,
just roster wide. If you knew how to combo with this character, guess what? More combo.
that we've been hoping for that for a while. Them
Yeah.
opening up combo possibilities and combo routes.
Yeah,
I
although
heard that
yeah, go ahead.
I heard that Alex can now combo off of EX headbutt, which is big because that means it's a combo. It's a command grab that you can combo off of.
I don't remember, but I spent most time with Akuma because obviously.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a lie. I spent most time with Akuma or fighting with my controller to actually be able to do inputs. So
Oh,
yeah, because like the problem is I do a lot crisper inputs on pad or on fight stick than I do pad, but my pad doesn't just not read crouching inputs, which are like 90% of the inputs in Street Fighter Five.
yeah. I can see where that'd be a problem.
But yeah, they changed some things around like Ryu's forward heavy. Like if you press forward and heavy, he has a move on that you used to be able to trigger V-trigger on the first hit, but now you can only do it on the second, so you can actually do that, or you can get the full damage out of the move and stuff
All
like that.
right.
But yeah, Akuma, they did nothing to change his V-trigger one, which is fine. They apparently it got buffed between the last time I played it and now, and the Shangokusatsu actually does damage now, like actual real.
Unthinkable.
Yeah, like actual real damage instead of like as much as a jab. And so even though the rest of that kit for Akuma is not one that I like, at least the Shangokusatsu actually is an incentive to use it now instead of just like, hey, here's the Shangokusatsu, that move that that is very very like big for Akuma. Yeah, it does nothing. It's the most easily
Eh,
dodgeable move. It's basically a waste of meter and your time. But yeah, V Trigger 2, they made it so you can air cancel the two moves that you were able to, or you're able to air cancel into the two moves that you were able to, but now you can also choose if you want to cancel into any of the normal versions or if you want to cancel into the EX versions,
yeah.
which it used to be only the EX versions. And like it made that version of Akuma a lot more versatile. Like if yeah, there's a lot more possibility for um picking things up. Like if you drop a combo or if you didn't do the input just right enough for things to come out the way you wanted, then you can just end it quickly by using the new normal variants. But from what I could tell, it's still usually better to use the EX variants, which kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But hey, because like the main problem for me was that they made the from what I can tell, they made all of the versions of Tatsumaki combo enders aside from the EX version.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's a problem because the same is true for all versions of Zanku Hadoken. And guess which two moves you can actually cancel into the air or in the air. so
Yeah.
So pretty much the only air thing you can
Hmm.
do is still just that EX Tatsumaki into a version of Zanku Hadoken, because you can cancel EX Tatsumaki, and that's the only one you can cancel apparently. But aside from that, it's fine. The combo damage seems weird. Like the scaling itself is very I don't know what else to call it. It's just weird because I guess like because of how Uni does things, I'm just used to it being okay. If you do the big damage move first, then it will fall off.
Yeah.
And with this game, it's just okay. If you do the combo, it falls off immediately. At least with Akuma. And so there's this kind of like more challenging, I guess, execution heavy combo that I figured out that you can actually link into each other, and you were able to do it before too. But there's that, and it does no damage. It does as much damage as I think as EX Shoryuken canceled into EX Tatsumaki into Zanku Hadoken.
Okay.
And it's a thing of like, yes, I can do the five moves that flow into each other and look really cool when I do them and deal no damage. Alternatively, I cannot. Like I can I can just do the same amount of damage by not actually doing moves. And
Yeah.
it kind of sucks for me because I like doing freaking five moves into each other that looks cool. I just wish that they actually dealt more damage than not. Like I understand why um like proration and stuff like that exists, and why it's so hard in Street Fighter. I just wish that I don't know how it could work to actually have it be balanced and make it make sense to actually commit to doing all of those moves linked into each other. But yeah, um, I did notice that there is one spot where I didn't know if prior to this Akuma could dash cancel his recovery. That's actually a good like combo lead, I guess. Because if you do his V trigger 2, or no, his V skill 2, I will never remember which one's which ever.
Yeah.
But if you do his V skill 2 into the Shakunetsu Hadoken that he has, then you can dash cancel that instead of using V trigger cancel over whatever, and that deals more damage than anything else that I found. Like dash canceling leads into more damage than not.
All right.
And yeah, that's pretty much all the time I spent is just trying to figure out the new Akuma routes, and finding that it's mostly the same routes. It's just being able to do them in smaller increments, so you can get out of jail more easily, which is fine.
All right. I've been kind of tempted myself to get in, but better to save the data for the end of the month, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have it on? You have it on PlayStation, right?
PlayStation.
All right,
PlayStation,
yeah.
yeah.
Save it from the end of for the end of the month, because I had to re-download the game.
Eh. I don't have the game downloaded at all, so.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, I had a 30 gig patch because with how the PlayStation is, you have to re-download the game for the patch to apply properly.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was nice. But yeah, so the definitive update seems mostly just this. It's like slight updates to damage, more combo routes, and just more shit to do overall, from what I can tell. Like
It,
I read.
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
it seems to me like almost kind of akin to Ultra Street Fighter 4 introducing
The Omega modes,
new
yeah.
changes that are a bit radical, or the Omega mode, yes, where it is, let's test some shit out before we get to real, elbow deep work on Street Fighter 6 to make sure shit doesn't just break.
Yeah. And
Which
yeah,
supposedly
but
Luke received the lion's share of changes, probably because Luke's going to be the protag of Street Fighter 6. So, you know.
yeah. Like I read Zeku's update notes, and pretty much their summary of Zeku's update notes is Zeku can now cancel his transformation, so he can do more combo more easily. Good luck.
All right. Well, that character, that's good for people who play that character. I already have nothing to do with that character because I think he's already a bit too difficult for me, but all right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my thing too. Is that like I really like playing Strider Zeku because I like playing Strider, and then he's also Guy, and I don't like Guy, and I'm supposed to be playing Guy half of the time at least. But yeah, I saw people memeing that Zangief would be nerfed. I didn't check, but I don't know what they would nerf, what they could nerf at this point with Zangief.
There was one actually fairly significant change. They made it where Geef now, if he it was a specific change, but nonetheless an important one. If he does the spinning lariat to a jumping opponent, but the jumping opponent does a jumping attack at the perfect time where they trade, Geef will nonetheless still recover fast enough that he can combo off.
Ah,
Which like is not like like wow broad sweeping change, but it does mean Geef has now got a much stronger anti-air game, which is important for the pros and such.
yeah, and most of the changes seem to be like this. Like half of the
Yeah,
like I tried to read the actual update notes for the moves and shit like that, but it was shit like decreased combo count, decreased combo counter, increased combo counter raise. What does that even mean? Like
yeah. Street Fighter 5 has the worst patch notes ever. For whatever reason, the translation effort on that is just using its own terms they've come up with themselves, or just using the internal terms they've used at Capcom for probably 30 years now, rather than using the terms that everybody else uses. So, yeah.
yeah, but like like I read that I'm like okay, so I guess I guess even though I'm hitting someone 5 times, then now it only counts 3. But if I hit them more, then it goes up faster.
Yeah.
And then they're like increase just frames by 2, and I go, hey, I'm supposed to understand that at least. But yeah, so that's the definitive update. Recently I found out that Pink actually owns Street Fighter 5.
What?
Yeah, Pink bought Street Fighter 5 Vanilla on Steam.
Huh? That's well, it's better than it used to be, but still that's just 16 characters, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I told him to probably wait for a sale on the Champion Edition, and then maybe consider buying it. If
Yeah.
like we may want to play together first to see if he actually likes the game. But like I told him, hey, I don't remember if Kami's DLC or not.
She's not. She is
Okay,
core.
okay. At least he have someone to play at least. So yeah, he'll probably buy the DLC just for G. Let's be real. G G deserves the money. G alone. We are funding G to destroy the world. That's the story of Street Fighter 6. All of the support aided G in destroying the world.
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess with the news out of the way, there was a discussion you wanted to hit.
Yeah, so one discussion. Apparently, this roundtable was actually not put together by Bemco. It was put together by Sega. Literally, the first topic they brought up was free to play in fighting games.
Yep.
So I thought we could I think we've hit this topic before, but we could go over it again, and also we could also discuss some of the things it said because There were things said, mainly by Harada.
Yeah. I think that it would differ a lot depending on the developer. I think Capcom already managed Street Fighter V as if it was a free to play game, so the fact that you had to actually pay an entry fee was really goofy. If a developer wants to stick to the NetherRealm style of let's make a narrative and let's release 20 characters at launch, give each arcade mode, not really much value for them doing free to play. As for everyone else, it's going to just differ a lot on the model they do it. And I'll be honest, like there's within free to play, there's already countless models to go over. Killer Instinct uses, of course, the League of Legends Smite style, where it is all the characters are locked and you got to pay for, but there's a cycling amount of free trial characters that you can play. Alternatively, I would not be shocked to see one of them at some point try the Dota style, which is all the characters are free, but they have loads of cosmetics you can buy.
Yeah, which the Dota style could work. I could see that one actually working out for fighting games. But my thing is that like I just don't expect most publishers, not the game devs themselves, the publishers, to go with a model that actually that works for both the consumers and them. They would go with whatever makes most money, which is Street Fighter Five.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, the league model is going to be the most popular simply because, as strange as it may sound, I do think that for a lot of players, that league model can work out to be kind of a Skinner box situation where players want to build up loads of money working over games and then unlocking characters in the way that you do in League and the way you do in Smite and so on, which just seems weird, but it can be appealing for some people. And for another thing, you know, at the end of the day, like the Dota decision was made by Valve, who has a lot of money they can sink into the project, right?
Yeah,
League is a safer choice because it just guarantees more money out of the gate because people need to buy the characters to play the game their way to begin with. Dota, there are loads of people who play Dota and aren't going to spend money on cosmetics. And a large part of Dota, why Dota also works, is because Dota has a player market. It's not so much Valve selling you shit, you're buying and selling cosmetics from other players, which means that the market can inflate and deflate rather rapidly, and Valve just gets to skim something off the top. And because of that, there's just a whole nother mess of things that's going on there, like market speculation and shit, that you would not be dealing with on a league kind of free to play model, where it's just flatly you buy cosmetics from the developer, there you go. And the majority of fighting game developers would not have the capability to do that. Dota, like, well, here's the thing. Here's another thing. Dota is able to get away with what it does because Dota also has a system where modders can make their own cosmetics, submit them to Valve, and if Valve approves them, then the modder gets a little bit off the top as well. And so Valve now has a system where they have modders making loads and loads and loads of content for Dota. So Valve doesn't even have to have its own fucking developers work on Dota.
ah, so yeah, Valve just engineered everything to work, and that's it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's not going to work for the majority of fighting game developers because the majority of fighting game developers and publishers are Japanese. And Japanese developers and publishers generally like to have tighter control on these things. Capcom does not want modders making custom outfits for Ryu or what have you. And well, we've already seen with Street Fighter V, Capcom, even in making their own content, still do not they still don't follow the free to play thing of trying to balance it out a little bit. Chun Li obviously got far, 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 far more love than any other character in that game for DLC content.
Yeah.
So honestly, free to play in fighting games, I think could work, but I don't think it will work until someone forces it to work, which may be Project L.
But my thing too is that I think there's like you put Killer Instinct and League and Smite under the same banner, and I don't know about League because I never played it, but I wouldn't put Killer Instinct's model and Smite's model under the same thing, just because Killer Instinct had no core roster. Killer Instinct was one character that was rotating every week, While Smite has I don't remember. I think it's 2 characters for each class, so that's 10 plus a.
One.
No, there's more.
Everyone in
Yeah.
No, everyone in Smite gets Guan Yu, Emir, Neith, Ra, and Thor by default, and those were the only ones that are guaranteed free
No,
for
I I,
everybody.
I think they all upped it to 10 because Yemoja is definitely given to pretty much everyone for free. I think.
Well, they do have some of them that have lowered costs, like
No, I know that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Pink has the Yemoja on his new account. I don't think he bought Yemoja
well,
on his new account.
well, Addy. The thing is, Pink would buy Umoja. Either which way, like that is a significant difference. What the fuck is going on out there? That is a significant difference. Yes, that Smite has those 5 gods that are automatically free for everyone. I guess the best comparison there would be since Killer Instinct has less characters overall than Smite does. I guess the best comparison would be if by default Killer Instinct made it where no matter what who you are, you get Jago, kill
Fulgor,
Fulgor. There we go,
yeah.
Fulgor. You get Jago, Fulgor, Cinder, and what's the ice guy's name?
Glacius, I think.
Glacius, yes, thank you. Though I suppose even then, like, there's a difficulty there of people don't tend to latch onto a main in MOBAs quite like they do in fighting games. Because somebody, like, how many people do you know? Wait, hang on, I just remembered who I'm talking to. How many fighting games are there where you only play 1 or 2 characters? Most of them, right?
Yeah, it's either a character or the whole roster. There's no really in between for me.
Yeah. Smite, if you just stuck to playing one god, that'd be insanity. But Killer Instinct, like, how many people are there that are just like, I got full gore, I don't need anybody else? You know?
Yeah.
So there are some nuances here, and you can't exactly copy models. And oh god, how do you even deal with stages, right?
Yeah.
League and Dota, everyone plays on the same stage, and every player has their own personal skin they use for the stage. Ugh.
Oh boy.
I guess that probably would work out fine still in like Street Fighter, though it'd be rather strange. But Mortal Kombat or Injustice, that shit wouldn't work because the stages
Yeah.
have actual gameplay mechanics.
I'm just imagining like a free to play Street Fighter 7 or whatever, where everybody mods in their own stages, so it's like 2 people are playing online. One of like they're playing like the normal carry you matchup. One of them is playing on a Christmas stage. The other is on the Fetus of God.
Yeah. Oh god, you know most people would just play on Training Room.
Nah, most people will playing like the fucking like Hatsune Miku porn.
I was about to say
Probably.
Booby Land.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with a name, but I couldn't. Like, there's no, I don't hang around in those sorts of places enough to actually know what they would be called.
It's just the background is just a repeating, looping GIF of Beta Chun Li.
It's it's a repeated looping gif of Beta Chun getting cream pied.
Oh god. Either which way, the yeah, it's. I mean, no matter what, it's going to depend a lot on execution. I think that I'll be honest. Here's another thing. I think Project L, if Project L was the first fighting game to really hit free to play, it would face a lot less controversy than say Street Fighter or Tekken attempting to do that. I think that there'd be a lot of people getting mad if Street Fighter or Tekken attempted to do that. Project L, people are like, yeah, it's League. Of course, it's free to play. You know?
Yeah, and I mean, technically, both have tried to do that in a way. Well, okay, Street Fighter fucked it up. Tekken had Tekken Revolution, which was free, from what I know, but I don't know because it was PS3 exclusive and I didn't have a PS3.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tekken had
Wonder why it didn't work.
But yeah, there was Tekken Evolution, and Harada said that after that was the point he brought up against it from his own experience is that they had Tekken Evolution, and um after looking at the data, they realized that it better serves Bemco to actually just make Tekken like normally, and then release it like they did Tekken 7. So like Tekken is probably not going free to play anytime soon, unless Project L does things like really well, which he did pretty much say this. Like he said that they're not really thinking about it so far, but if someone shows how to do it well, then they will consider it again.
Yeah.
And then he also said thing like I don't know who brought it up, but they were like, hey, what if fighting games are on a subscription service? And that was
Mm,
a bad take. And then Torado started talking about how shooters are the same game, but fighting games are not. Which like
okay.
it's an opinion, I guess.
It's a bad take, is what it is.
Yeah. This guy's favorite game is Payday 2. I just want to point out.
Haradas?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Harada's favorite game of all time, at least from what I know of him, is Payday 2.
Well, that's kind of mystifying. That's not too surprising, I guess. But like, it would be insane to say that Payday is the same game as Doom.
Yeah. I think he said that Apex is the same game as COD, which not
No,
really. No.
no. I guess what he might be trying to say as well, it's still a transferable skill of aiming the crosshair at
Yeah,
people.
that's what he was
But
trying to say. He was just simplifying it too much.
yeah, and that's acting as if there aren't loads of transferable skills in fighting games.
Yeah.
Like, from Harada's perspective, there is a little bit of a thing where you could say where it's like, well, he's talking from the perspective of like 3D fighters are so different from 2D fighters because Harada usually deals in 3D fighters.
Yeah.
But like, even then, there's still plenty of transferable skill from 3D to 2D fighters. 3D fighters still have the same usual footsies, the same usual, whiff punishing, combos, and so on.
I learned how to play Street Fighter 4 Akuma in Tekken 7. So, you know.
Yeah. What was the next bad take? We
No,
won't even
that's it.
discuss subscription. That shit died with MMOs. Fuck off.
Well, no, that shit didn't die with MMOs. That shit is currently dying with MMOs. It's not gonna away
Yeah.
yet.
Well, WoW will live forever because WoW is WoW. People will always have WoW
I
to go
don't
back to
know.
WoW when they
No,
want
that's
WoW.
the thing. That's the thing. I don't know if WoW will live forever because WoW has been bleeding people for a while because of a vast array of reasons, and Final Fantasy XIV has just been eating its lunch for
That is
the last
absolutely
couple of
true.
years.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14 has gotten so popular they won't accept new players.
Yeah. But yeah, so like subscriptions is like no, like genuinely. Why would I? Like I don't like the thing is I didn't hear if they elaborated on how it should how they imagined it was supposed to work. Like did they imagine that every single fighting game publisher comes together, releases a bundle of fighting games that you can then subscribe to and then play all of them? Or did they just actually want to do a thing where hey, here's Guilty Gear Strive 2, and then you need to pay like $20 every month to play a Soul Bad guy? Because either way, that fucking sucks. It wouldn't work. It would kill fighting games faster than they are dying now.
I imagine the idea would be make a live service game, but rather than charging for each individual piece of content, just charge one flat fee for everything. Which again would make people who only play one character again feel like they're being robbed because, like, well, fuck you, I don't want to play Chip. I just want to play Kai.
Yeah.
Next bad take.
I think that was it. Those were the ones that got pointed out a lot. That like everyone got stuck up on.
Hmm.
And then after that, it was mostly just announcements. And like I think from what I remember, they moved past the discussion fast because it was pretty much just Harada said his takes. People went okay. Someone brought out a subscription thing in the middle of it, and then they went on to something else. I forget what the next topic was.
Harada sunglasses.
I heard Harada
Harada simply
sunglasses.
asked
Yeah,
Harada simply asked all the other developers, "Why do you not wear sunglasses all the time?"
yeah.
I wear
Har-
my sunglasses indoors. I wear them at night.
Harada asked, "Why didn't you get nearly killed in Hong Kong in when you were like 20?" That, that's
Oh
an actual
god,
that's an actual story of his.
I would believe it. Yes.
Uh, so yeah, why didn't you get nearly perfected in Virtua Fighter 5 by the guy who worked on it? That's something he did recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Sega brought this up because of course Virtua Fighter 5 sold well because it was free. Who'd have thunk? And if it works out for them, good for them. Like if they can make it work, whatever. I just hope that the bad parts of the monetization model doesn't seep into fighting games too much because that's always my worry.
Yeah.
That like it stops being, hey, here's a game, and then here's some shitty customization that you can pay for or whatever, like some elaborate thing that you may not even like that you can pay for. Like that's the thing with Smite that's good for me, is that like they release 50 skins every week, and there's only a skin that I like for a character that I like once every 5 months, and I don't buy it
Yeah.
because I can't fucking afford it. But hey, the option is there once every 5 months.
Yeah. Um.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I have to wonder if there's a scheme with Virtua Fighter 5 of, we will report to shareholders how many units were sold. We will not report actual income, actual revenue, because that stat will be far less impressive.
Yeah. We will also not report that secretly NetherRealm is working on Virtua Fighter 6 right now.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, like, when you look into those corporate type stories, it's incredible how much of it boils down to, we were only able to make this a success because we lied to shareholders.
I don't look into that stuff too much. So the closest thing that I usually remember is how the good parts of Detroit become human, but only in the game because the actors fought with David Cage.
Yeah.
They
Well,
beat him
that
with
one
fisticuffs.
100% makes sense. Any
they,
given person.
the actors are then turning in Don't Never Die and beat David Cage to leave the good parts of the game in.
Speaking of, that's one developer that should be at the indie developers conference or whatever. The Dong Dong team.
They should be at Evo. Just for
Yeah,
some reason. Like they should just be there to talk about Dong Dong.
yeah.
They no,
I
they,
would
they should
have many
they should
questions.
they should be at Evo to announce Dong Dong 2. No, Dong Dong 3 actually. I think Dong Dong 2 came out. I don't think it ever actually reached the West, but I think it came out in theory at least.
Hang on, I'm looking it up. Wikipedia does not even have an article for Dong Dong. Only Mizumi Wiki does.
I hope the subtitle for Dong Dong 2 is Die Harder.
Yeah. Apparently, the wiki is 4% complete, and the only character entry they have is for Mario.
Nice. So we don't know. That game continues to be an enigma.
Yeah. Well, it was made pretty well by the team just to, like, pass time and hype up their
Yeah, it
fan made version of.
It was a shit
Streets of
post, wasn't
Rage,
it?
right? I have no idea.
I thought it was a shit post, more or less. And then they were right. Streets of Rage 4 was on the PSP in 2016
Eh,
or whatever it was.
the Sony PSP. See
Yeah,
if TV Tropes knows anything.
I guess probably while we're on similar topics, and you can check the square of us talking about not finding really that shit for an hour, I guess. But um, I suppose something that could come here is PlayStation did announce that they are reworking PS Plus. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yes, I did hear about that. Is that super
So
related to? Oh, well, I guess there's probably gonna be lots of fighting games from the PS1, PS2 selection, aren't there?
that's what I was going to ask. Do you think I will actually get to play CVS2 properly again? Because I can't actually buy it on the
That
PS2.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting games I can put on that service to motivate. The PlayStation, well, when Soon first brought it up, he was like saying that he hopes Marvel Ultimate Alliance was on there. But I said to him on Marvel Ultimate Alliance, yeah, shit ain't happening because licensing hell.
Yeah, Activision.
And honestly, with CVS, I halfway wonder if it's the same thing. But they did really support a PC port of the
Of the first game. Or
one of
no,
the mobile ones.
it was a Neo Geo Pocket one, I think.
So Capcom and SNK are willing to play ball on that front,
I mean, not only
possibly.
that,
So
but you're forgetting. Around the same time that they released that, they also released the first CVS on Nintendo Switch, but only on Nintendo Switch.
yeah, yeah.
So there's a
Damn.
chance. There is a
There's a
chance.
chance, yes. Yeah. Huh.
And then we can get freaking like obviously this means that this won't be region locked and everybody gets everything, so everyone will get to play like Vasara Cross and Solitude Battle Resonance.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't
Dude, my
I
God.
yeah.
Could you imagine fucking Fist of the North Star on there?
Yes.
I've always wanted, like, there's no way in hell I would be able to play it reasonably by any other means, but goddamn, I've always wanted to do the basketball combo.
You do that one, and then you just boot up Marvel, and then all of the infinites happen by themselves.
All on the same screen.
Yeah, like you do the basketball combo, and then the next time you boot up Marvel 3, freaking Phoenix chooses herself automatically.
Okay, did they ever release a PS1 or PS2 port of Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Yes. Oh no, Marvel 2. I don't remember if Marvel 2. I think so. I can check.
Wikipedia says
Yeah.
Wikipedia says yes, though the two things to think about there is, for one thing, I want to say the Dreamcast port is the only one that's considered to be like super like arcade perfect great. And for another thing, again, licensing hell.
Yeah, that's more of a problem with licensing hell. Licensing
Yeah.
hell.
Marvel in general seems to only really be playing nice with Sony these days.
Yeah.
Man. I was about to say, ooh, Darkstalkers. And I remembered, oh shit, we're getting a collection of all the Darkstalkers games. I
Yeah.
don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. But Strider 2 and also fucking Plasma Sword. I may get Plasma Sword.
Yeah. Plasma
Finally.
Sword, yes. Tekken 3.
I already own Tekken 3.
Shit, I don't. Fuck.
I have a PS1 Classic. It comes with Tekken 3.
Ooh, Soul Edge? Soul Edge and Soul Calibur 1, right?
Oh yeah. What else?
What are some
Bushido
other
Blade.
games that
Bushido Blade.
Bushido Blade, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Both of the Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting collections.
Yeah, I don't know if they would do the Art of Fighting collections because I think it's already back compat with PlayStation 4.
That is true.
Well,
I have the Fatal Fury Special Collection or Real Bout, whatever.
well, no, I say that, but then this isn't just a list of ports. It's them just putting like the games from that. So technically, it could be in the list.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. KOF 11 would be great. I'd love to see that one get ported over.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, I doubt they could get that. I don't know if the licensing would be viable for this one, but Street Fighter EX.
Ooh. Yeah. That. Yeah. Yeah. EX plus Alpha from PS1. No, not EX plus Alpha. Well, what was the special version of 2? I'm gonna look it up.
I'd also the EX3 with its insane tag team mode and crazy combos.
I never played EX3, so I have no real opinion on it.
Uh, it was the one they introduced not only tag team mode, and I think there were a couple tag team exclusive. Like they made it where certain tag team combinations would have special supers, like Ryu and Ken. If you made them a tag team, they had a super where like Ryu would Shoryuken somebody and up into the air, and then Ken would come on screen, and they both Shoryuken a guy in the
I
ass as he
I
came back down.
Yeah, I remember watching videos. Yeah. Okay, it's EX2 plus. That's the special version of 2 that I was thinking of.
All right, that's kind of an oddball situation where they kind of would want to just put all the EXs on there simply because so many of them just change things for seemingly no reason.
Yeah.
Like, isn't Doctor Death or whatever his name only
Doctrine
in
Dark.
EX2 and he's not in the first or third ones?
He's in the third one. Definitely.
Ah, Sagat, I want to say Sagat and Sakura are both in EX2, but not EX1 or 3. Akuma as well, I want to say.
Akuma's definitely in 2. Let's see if he's in 3 characters. Hmm. No. Not that I can tell.
The 3D Mortal Kombat's.
Who? Yeah.
Yeah,
We could do
yeah,
an actual playthrough of fucking adventure mode in Deception. Chujinko
yeah,
finally freed
yeah,
from his prison.
yeah, yeah. And you just play through it while I just go like rattle off about more combat lore, shit like
Yeah,
that.
we all of us get together again. Mike plays Moscow on repeat, and that's his contribution to the series. You talk
Yeah.
about MK lore. I die inside. Pink screams.
Oh Jesus! If they got the 3D Mortal Kombat's on PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4, either which one, we could like it would have to wait until I get actual consistent internet put in, but we could share play
Yes,
it.
yes. We could do jank air combos. Yes.
Yeah, it becomes a race to see who can pick Dairu fastest for that stupid ground pound move he had.
Oh, Tekken Tag, the first one.
Yeah, Tekken Tag 1. Yeah.
Hmm. What other fighting games are there? There were a lot. Well,
Yeah.
here's one that they wouldn't be able to do unless Bandai worked together with Capcom. A Heritage for the Future.
Ooh. Yeah. That could be a fun one. I mean, Bamco is now willing to play ball with everyone. It seems. It seems like Bamco is now just going around doing everybody's work for them.
Yeah, but I'll get I don't I don't like it. I just want Akuma in every Bemco game. Why not? Fuck it. Put him in. Like,
Both Tekken.
yeah.
I was
What?
just going to say both Tekken 4 and 5.
Ooh, yeah, Tekken 5. And I'm not, so PSP games also are also in this thing. So not only Tekken
Oh, are you
5,
serious?
Dark Resurrection. Yes, not only Tekken 5, Dark Resurrection. Both
Yeah, with
versions.
Dragonov and Lily.
Yeah, and
That
Armor
would be
King.
great. Yeah. Oh boy, like if we want to talk about weird shit locked to the PSP, that would be great to see put on other systems. Persona 3 Portable.
Yeah.
The port jobs for both Persona 1 and Persona 2 Part 1. You know, the translation for Persona 1 that makes it not be stupid.
Okay, so yeah, that would be different than the one I own. At
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, well, your one is still valuable because, like, there's still a lot of value in Mark Danced Crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Ooh, the PSP port of Deception that adds, like, 10 characters, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, wait, no, that was GBA shit.
Alpha 3 Upper?
No, I was thinking of well, yeah, they could have the Alpha 3 of upper, but I was thinking of fucking Advanced Combat. Did you ever
Ooh, I don't
play?
know that one.
There was a port of like Deception, or I don't even remember which one. There was, I think there were more than one, but whatever. There was a port of one of the 3D Mortal Kombats on the GBA that was still 3D, kind of. And it was very
Yes.
stinky.
Well, it was visually very stinky, but I hear gameplay-wise, it actually worked remarkably
Yeah,
well.
it was surprisingly good.
It was Deadly Alliance, the Game Boy Advance port of Deadly Alliance.
Yeah. I played that one.
That that is one of those, like, marvels of engineering, like, what fucking coder pulled off this miracle, you know?
Yeah, and it was that game, and also freaking Tekken Advance, which was just like shittier Tekken 3. Which, like, it is shittier Tekken 3, at the same time it's still Tekken 3 on GBA. So
Oh, I guess the question is begged of, like, how many of the KOFs are they gonna put on it, right? Other than, like, because there's obvious picks, 98, 2002, 11. But will they do that weird shit where it's like, "Oh, here's also 97 and 2000,"
I
and, like,
hope
a
it's
couple other weird picks?
I hope it's all of them. Just all of the ones that, like, no, legitimately actually all of them, because the PS3 is also streamable to you, not to me, but to you.
Yeah, 12, d would anyone wanna play 12, though?
I mean, I would like to play 13 with frame rate that's higher than 5, but
Yeah, that's true.
that's a me problem, I guess.
Hmm. How
What
far
other?
back does Melty Blood go? Does Melty Blood go back to the PS2?
We'll see.
Oh,
I'm
dude. What fucking Dragon Ball games could they get?
Oh,
Because
Budokai, all of the Budokai games, yeah. I love
Budokai
Tankaichi.
3 would be Budokai 3, that's like one of the must-have PS2 games. That was one of the classics of that generation. Tenkaichi 3, I think, would be a delightful curiosity. I'm halfway curious if I'd actually go back and try that and hate it now, but that was definitely one of the big games of my childhood.
Yeah, I never got to play Tenkaichi. I played approximately 2 minutes of Budokai 3. I spent 5 years trying to emulate it, and my PC couldn't run it. Once I actually got a working copy.
Ugh.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Huh.
Metacritic. Give me all of the PlayStation 2 fighting games. I will look at the
Again,
PlayStation.
licensing hell,
Yeah.
Def Jam. Licensing hell, Def
Ooh,
Jam. If they
yeah.
could.
Super Hell.
If they could. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ah, yes, my favorite PlayStation 2 fighting game, SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 and TNA
Yeah.
Impact.
There'd be some good wrestling games to throw on there if we want to lump them into fighting games, and some of them you certainly can.
Yeah. I mean, All Stars.
But,
Not the good version, but All Stars.
yeah, it's the trouble. I guess would be like, oh, that would be licensing hell. Come to think of
What?
it, there is no way in hell there will ever be a port of Shut Your Mouth or Here Comes the Pain because of Chris Benoit.
Ah, yeah. Well, they just replaced him with a second model, Steven Richards.
Yeah, great.
But yeah,
I don't think
freaking
Stevie
yeah,
Richards was in those games either.
he was.
Oh shit! Fuck me.
I think. I think he was in Right to Censor, but I forget.
Ooh, I would think that would have ended by the time of Here Comes the Pain, but you're probably right for Shut Your Mouth.
I think he was in Shut Your Mouth. I don't remember for Here Comes the Pain. But
Ooh,
yeah,
there's probably
so
a good couple other licensing issue guys from those old games.
yeah, yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, so I actually have a list of fighting games for PS2. Arcana Heart.
Oh, well, yep, there we go.
It's
Forget all the other games, just that one.
yeah. Also, the fucking all of the Ultimate Ninja games before Storm.
That is true.
Fire Pro, I guess.
No. Some wrestling games we can count it, not Fire Pro. I refuse.
Yeah.
Air guys, God bless the ring.
Yeah. Wait, I think Air Guys is back compat already. I mean, it could still be added to the thing, but still, I think it's back compat already. I remember seeing it. Was it a mirage? Oh, Bleach had a fucking fighting game. It worked like Power Stone on the PS2. So did Inuyasha. I think the Inuyasha one was Japan exclusive though, so it probably wouldn't work. There's a lot of One
Bloody
Piece games that
Roar.
I'm. Yeah, Bloody Roar. There's a lot of One Piece games I'm seeing. Soul Calibur 3. I mean, I'd be hyped for that. Nobody else but me.
Like, we have to assume we're only getting a fraction of all the games we're pitching here, but still, it could be
Yeah.
a very exciting fraction.
Yes. Ooh, Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects.
Oh, dude,
Sabretooth.
I have a physical
Sabretooth.
copy of that.
I know.
I have a.
I know.
Yeah. That game is trash. We would have to play it.
Yes. Oh.
With Pink
Back,
there.
yes. Backyard Wrestling. Either one, really.
Yeah.
I prefer the first one because that's the one I own. I literally have the copy right next to me. But you know.
I grew up with the second one, believe it or not. Rival
Ooh.
schools.
Capcom Fighting Evolution.
Ooh, that would be. Ooh, we would put in a single session with it, and then I would say, "Okay, now uninstall this shit."
we would play a single session, and the recording ends with us going to Ono's office.
Yeah.
Godzilla saved the
Okay.
Earth. That's probably
We've talked about.
yeah. Go ahead.
Ooh, yeah. Soon's really wanting that one. He specifically mentioned that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
There's
that
apparently
that may be
several
licensing hell.
Godzilla games on. Yeah, there's apparently several Godzilla games on PS2 he wants.
Fucking Maximum Impact. I'd be hyped for that shit.
Oh yeah. The whole X-Men Mutant Academy series, that one could be a fun one.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho was actually good from what I remember. Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament.
Dead or Alive before they just started printing out costumes.
Yeah. Ooh, Digimon Rumble Arena. The first one was good.
Uh,
Digimon
never seen
Rumble.
it.
It's platform fighter. It's the platform fighter I put like either this or TMNT Smash Up is the platform fighter I put the most time into.
Ooh, TMNT Smash Up might have been on PS2, wasn't
It was.
Oh shit. That could be a fun one if they could get the licensing for it.
Yeah. UFC
Some
Sudden
people are gonna
Impact.
be really excited.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
UFC Sudden Impact.
Oh. Some people would be really excited for Ballerina Toshinden. I would not be shocked at all if Toshinden's on there.
Yeah, I would not be shocked for Toshinden. I haven't played Toshinden in a while. Until I got a PS1 Classic, and then I played Toshinden, and I was like, man, Soul Calibur is nice.
Yeah.
You don't appreciate Soul Calibur until you play Toshinden.
Yeah.
Oh, Virtual On.
Oh,
What makes this a fighting game? I don't remember Virtual On being a fighting game.
I don't know.
They can put Virtual Fighter
Okay.
4 on it at least. Yeah.
There's a lot of Virtual Fighter to go around there, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, that could be fun, though it'd be funny. Well, the great thing about having Mortal Kombat Trilogy on there is, even though you could have it running on a PS4 or PS5, they'd almost certainly still have the goofy thing in of Shang Tsung having to
Having to
do a
load,
loading
yeah.
screen every. Yeah, that would be great. Oh god. But make it like an instant loading screen, so it's just like you get a little flash, a little something to trigger your epilepsy, and then you get back
Yeah.
to the game.
Same for the SmackDown games.
Yeah. Okay, I've always been curious to see just how bad Mortal Kombat 4 is. That would be
You
interesting.
haven't played Mortal Kombat 4?
No,
I
I never
have.
have.
I have. This is
Is it as
th-
dog shit as everyone says?
yes.
Oh god.
It felt horrible. And you have to consider, I played the arcade version. No move list. Try to figure out the controls
Ooh.
without no move list.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, like, this is the funny thing is that, like, I'm younger than you. I've played a lot of these fighting games somehow. Fighter Maker 2.
Oh. Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the stinkiest fighter you can make?
Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Sephiroth doing a
boy.
backflip.
Yeah. Or, well, don't forget his alternative move, Sephiroth doing a front flip.
Yes.
There was an ECW game? Get the fuck out.
Which one? There were two.
ECW Anarchy Rules.
Yeah. Anarchy Rules, and there was other one. I don't remember I think that may have just been ECW.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I saw a picture of the gameplay and it looks absolutely hideous.
Oh, it's the same gameplay as Warzone.
Wow. Yeah, again, licensing hell.
Yes.
Boy.
Okay. Tom and Jerry, War of the Whiskers.
I may have played that one.
The next Evo game.
There's a good couple Power Stone knockoffs you can put on that PS2 list. Almost all of them
Yeah.
would be licensing hell because they were usually adaptations of kid properties.
I mean, not
So
only that,
there's-
but they were usually fucking anime from what I gather. Because, like, I remember the Inuyasha game that they had on the list here. That was a Power Stone game. There was a Bleach fighting. There were like 5 Bleach fighting games on PS2 alone that were all Power Stone. All of them.
I grew up with a Billy and Mandy ripoff of Power Stone.
I didn't grow up with any of them. I just watched videos of the Bleach one because I really wanted to play it, but never. Like, it was Japan exclusive. So
Boy, wouldn't that be a question if finally Capcom does something for Power Stone and it's just through this, you know?
yeah. Guilty Gear X. I don't think there's a modern way you can play Guilty Gear X. Just X.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work for Guilty Gear 1 and Guilty Gear XX, but Guilty Gear X they just kind of left behind.
Yeah.
I guess because it's seen as just kind of such an awkward middle step to Guilty Gear X2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm now significantly more hyped for this PS Plus upgrade thing.
Yeah. I hope that the good parts also reach here, because a lot of it seems to be like dependent on PS Now, which was never a thing here. So yeah. Like, I just hope that the PS, like they said, the PS3 thing is just streaming. PS1, 2, and PSP titles are either streaming or downloadable, or both probably. So I'm hoping that at least the downloadable, but I hope at least the PS1, PS2, and PSP games are actually allowed to reach overseas. Or they introduce fucking PS Now over here too, because I would pay more money to play fucking Soul Eater Battle Resonance. Have you even heard of that game?
No, this is the first time I've heard of it.
It is the only fighting game for Soul Eater that ever came out, as far as I know. Soul Eater has like 4 games, 3 of them are RPGs on the DS. This game is a 2.5D fighting game featuring like 7 characters. But I would fucking pay top dollar for it, because it's like, I just want to know. I need to know. I'm also looking up PSP fighting games, because we like, I think you were looking at
I just did.
okay. I'm also opening it up then, I guess. Oh, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Impact. I never fucking heard of it. What the fuck?
the Soul Calibur with Kratos.
Ah, yes, the Soul Calibur with Kratos. Dissidia 012. Do the same Final
Yeah, both.
Fantasy.
Yeah, both of the Dissidias.
Yeah. Oh, could
Which
they put Gakitai Ninja Tyson?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I think that was GameCube. There was a Naruto
I
there was a Naruto fighting game that was actually good, like actually had depth, made by CyberConnect. But I think it was a GameCube exclusive, and then it kind of died.
all right.
Ninja Tyson. That's oh, Gekito Ninja Tyson. Yeah, Clash of the Ninja. That's that's the English title. Uh, let's see. Yes, Gekito Ninja Tyson was a GameCube series. There were 4 games. Oh no, there was a V series. There was a V follow up apparently. Yes, that's it. It died on the V.
Yeah.
F. So yeah, like that, those games, at least like I guess it's out of the ballpark, but those would have been nice. But they're sadly GameCube.
Yeah. Like that mid 2000s era, there was just such a splurge of games for Naruto and for Dragon Ball and for One Piece and for Bleach, where everyone almost certainly has their favorite that they grew up with, and it's just lost in the tide, right?
Yeah,
I've I got a One Piece game that I grew up with that I have no idea how the fuck to find it.
thankfully I only like there were only like I could only buy the first 2 parts of the Ultimate Ninja series for PS2, which is what won in the end, which the bad move CyberConnect in the end
Yeah.
retroactively. But 2 was a lot better than 1 because 1 was very much just proof of concept. 2 had like the RPG story mode that the series would later on get to be known for and stuff like that. 2 also had like 1 mini game that was actually fun, and I played that mini game more than the actual game because it was more fun than the fighting game part.
Ah, cart combat.
Yes, card combat, but with Naruto. Ooh, Legend of the Dragon.
I do not know that one.
Me neither. It looks like it looks like very very like low budget, like I don't even know what channel would have had a series like this, but it's like a very low budget like kung fu series, like TV series. let me let
You
me
mean
get
like
you.
the original Kung Fu? As in the show Kung Fu?
No, because that was live action, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
But imagine, like, okay, imagine knockoff Jackie Chan Adventures.
That's exactly what I was about to say, yes.
But yeah, here's the here's the highest quality fucking thumbnail or whatever cover that I could find. So yeah, knockoff Jackie Chan Adventures, innit?
My god, it's Kinshi after one too many beers.
Yeah. Oh, Guilty Gear Judgment. That actually could
Yeah.
that could be good. Yes. Oh, Shimbodokai wasn't. Wait, that was bad.
I don't know. They made after Budokai 3 was such a raging success, they made so many shitty kind of like similar knockoff kind of games to it.
Yeah, there was Raging Blast. Raging Blast was alright. It had its own flavor. It was kind of a mix of Tenkaichi and Budokai. Shin Budokai was bad, from what I remember. It has a 70 on Metacritic, so I don't know. Maybe it was bad. Maybe it
Yeah.
wasn't. Who knows? Then there was another something like Shin Budokai. It was called something like that. That was a follow up to the Budokai series on the 360. That didn't sell any copies because it sucked. Just straight up was bad, and that's why the series is dead. Ooh, Darkstalkers Chronicle: The Chaos Tower. I don't think that is that in the Capcom Flashback Collection or whatever they call it. The Rockstar Coast
No, that
collection.
one's a. Hang on, I'm looking it up because I remember there was something odd about that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was at one of the PSP launch games. Weird. It is a port of the Japan only Dreamcast game Vampire Chronicle for Matching Service, which is in turn a version of Vampire Savior that allows players to choose their fighting style from all 5 Darkstalkers/Vampire arcade games. The game
Also,
has all the characters from prior installments of the series and includes all the endings and moves from the games. The complete soundtracks from all 3 games are also selectable based on playstyle. However,
ah,
the level selection screen and about supposed endings are all from Vampire Savior 2.
that that choosing how you play kind of sounds like Sam Show 6. Did you ever play Sam Show 6?
No, but I think you've told me before that when you pick a character, you can pick what game they're from.
Yeah, you like they you can change which like generic like mechanics you want them to use, which game's generic mechanics, and then uh they may have get moves locked away from you depending on which one you choose. Also, there's a Sam Show 7 groove that they made. It may be on 8 too. I forget. Oh, Soul
That
Calibur,
game is
bro.
so bizarre.
Yeah.
Was that not the same game where they also made the dog separately playable?
Yes, but both of them. Both Namaha and I think that's I forget if it's the dog's name or both the dog and the owl or whatever. I forget the Ruru bird. But yeah, it's they're playable as a separate character. Poppy is playable as a separate character. Who else? The guy from the background is playable. He plays like Rugal, if I remember correctly. So yeah, Blaze Blue Continuum Shift 2. I guess I'll look at the PS1 games as well. I'm I'm close enough. It's the only one that I didn't look at yet. All right, so Google just gave me a bit of the list from Metacritic, while also not giving me the link to Metacritic. Ooh yes, hell yeah! Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22.
What?
Isn't that the game with the nice animation that loads for 5 million years and sucks ass?
I I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's an infamous Dragon Ball fighting game on the PlayStation 1 that has like really good animation, but that's the only thing it has going for it, maybe. I'm not even sure if I remember that like that's right. It may be like an early 3D game that looks really bad. I just remember lots of loading times, and there were like 4 characters. Now there were 6, something like that. But it was like really bad. But it has a 25 on Metacritic, so it may be the game I'm thinking of. Ultimate Battle 22.
This one
And
fighting game that like is just a bizarro kind of satire of all anime altogether, and it has the goofy narration.
uh, hmm. Are you talking about fucking Battle Phantasma Omnia or whatever that game is that came out recently?
What? Maybe. Hang on. So I'm going to look up actually. It was one of the last Friday Night Fisticuffs there were. So I'm gonna look it up.
So why did the Inuyasha game come out on PS1 and PS2 as well? Like what? I mean I guess I guess I understand, but you know it the I don't think they imagine. Oh, it has 69 rating, nice. But
Yeah.
I don't imagine the PS1 version would be good.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I found the game that will sell the most expensive PS Plus subscription. Simpsons
What's
Wrestling.
that? Oh. Ooh. I am very curious. Yes.
Digimon Rumble Arena 1 is here. Apparently didn't review good. I disagree. I played that
Yeah,
game a lot. Reaperman was OP. He was just Zaslamel. He was Zaslamel before Zaslamel. Uh, shit. Wait, why do they have Bushido Blade but not Bushido Blade 2? Did I go past Bushido Blade 2? It wasn't the PS1. The hell?
I can't find the game I'm looking for. Whatever. Oh, conveniently enough, they did. The Super Best Friends did play Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. So let me just go ahead and add that to the watch later.
Yeah, so you can get sufficiently informed on the greatness that is that game.
Yeah.
I am honestly kind of tempted to see if I can find some of the old shitty like licensed Japan exclusive like Power Stone anime games that I watched growing up and just post them in the Discord.
Ooh, this could be very exciting. I don't think we're gonna see too much the old shit games on there. They're probably gonna aim for generally games that are well loved,
Yeah,
but
probably.
there's
Yeah.
still some interesting potential. All right, with that discussed, and now everyone very excited. Addy, what have you done in terms of fighting games in the last 2 weeks, other than the Street Fighter V Definitive update, I suppose?
That was pretty much it, I think. Unless
Oh, do we
on
want to talk
yeah.
Skullgirls for a little bit?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, I did play it with you. I also played it with Pink after that.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, I guess we can talk Schoolgirls.
All right. Yeah, Skullgirls, it's been a while,
Yeah.
The but I'm always it's a fun fighting game. It's just what am I trying to look for? I'm trying to look for
Okay.
an actual point to make here. What happened?
So I'm looking up this list of PlayStation 1 fighting games. One of the related searches that Google put up is what is the number one fighting game? I will tell it okay, Unfold, because I don't know what the fuck how would you answer that? Answer: Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fighting games leaderboard. And it's counted by hours streamed. And here's the thing.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. Smash Bros. Is the first one with 30,000 hours. The second one is KOF 15 with 8,000 hours. Then Brawlhalla with 20,000 hours. And Street Fighter 5 with 10,000 hours. How is KOF 15 in second place? Again?
That is amusing. Though I would wonder if it's trying to like weight the amount of streaming hours depending on how recently the game came out.
Maybe.
KOF 15 might be ranked a lot higher because even though it's got less hours, it has gotten much more hours in its early days of streaming than the other games did.
Yeah,
Which would
maybe.
be strange, but it would make sense that there's like a community of like Maximilian Dude knockoffs who are right now trying to get in on the new fighting game.
Oh! Okay, I actually learned something. So apparently the name of the actual first fighting game is Heavyweight Champ, which was 76.
All right.
I'm gonna see if I can find the picture so we can bask in its glory. But yeah, Schoolgirls. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
What?
Uh. Uh huh. Yes. Fighting games
What is it?
Fighting games have not improved since Heavyweight Champ.
Ooh. All right, for those of you sitting at home, look at that go look up a picture of that game.
Yes, type into Google Heavyweight Champ 1976, and you will get a picture of the game. And boy,
Yeah, that is just strange, is what it is, I guess.
yes. I also like how it's
It
like
looks racist,
it's.
but I don't think it is.
I don't know if it's racist. I can't tell. It's too old. But yeah, I like how it's like pictures of like advertisements for the arcade cabinet. It's this game. It's a game that's totally not Punch Out by Sega. And a picture of Homer Simpson. Oh, and also Karate Champ. We needed that.
Oh god.
So anyway,
And
yes,
that came out in '76, so it took 13 years for the first like really real fighting game to come out.
yes. But no. This one was the first properly competitively viable fighting game. You don't have to choose training room. There is no stage. The
Hmm.
frames are crisp as fuck, boy.
Oh my god.
Ah, shit. The input lag. There was no input lag. There was nothing to render.
Jesus.
Shit.
Oh, oh boy. Ah, yeah, we put in some time in Skullgirls. We had some fun. I shook off the rust. It took me a while to shake off the rust because I never really played Skullgirls like meaningfully matches. It's a good fighting game. It's pretty sprites and it's got the fun characters that do the weird things. Peacock is crazy.
Yeah, Peacock is crazy.
Cancel your projectiles into your projectiles that push a super at your opponent.
I wish that they gave her the car super still. So, because then genuinely you could just go yo dog, you like projectiles. So put projectiles into your projectiles and your car.
Oh man. How many of those characters that were supposed to be in that car are characters that Lab Zero has now suggested are characters they want to put in as DLC?
At least one. I remember at least one.
Yeah. The Anvil, right?
Yes, the Anvil. Jim the
Anvil
Anvil
Andy or
Nightheart.
whatever his name is. What?
Jim the Anvil Nightheart.
Yeah.
All of the characters are drawn stylistically, and then it's just an actual fucking picture of Jim the Anvil Nightheart as a playable character. That's the next Skullgirls DLC.
It's not even animated. It's just a still picture of him.
Yeah. He has movement where the picture slides, and then every face button shoots a fireball.
At what point does he just become Omega Tom Hanks?
Yes.
Oh Jesus.
There was a character whose inspiration was Omega Tom Hanks in the DLC list.
I think you're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, Omega Tom Hanks' whole stupid thing of him just running around the screen throwing projectiles already kind of exists in another relevant fighting game because that's pretty well Arthur in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah. And that's why really if you want inspiration for your fighting game character, you should look towards the infinitely better Rare Akuma, who just fucking teleports behind you and kills you with no meter. Fuck you. That's it. This was a PSA. I would okay. Rugal is in KOF 15. How much would we pop if they announced that there's gonna be another like free LC for KOF 15. It's a flock of falling father figures.
I'll be honest, as I popped for the idea. If I actually saw that, I would just be confused.
That's I'm just imagining like Street Fighter does its own thing with the bonus rounds. That's KOF's bonus round from now on. You have to dodge a flock of falling father figures.
Yeah, you just gotta dodge roll at the right time.
Yes, but it input
That's it.
reads. It's using the Omega Rugal AI. Oh boy, I'm still looking at heavyweight champ. Oh, it's a series of boxing video games. I see. So the one that is stolen out punch out was a better version of the one on screen. So yeah. Anyway, schoolgirls. Yeah.
Fun game, lots of different characters to play. We mostly stuck to just 4 or 5 characters though, because I was trying to remember how to play them.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun game with like 12 characters to play.
Yeah.
So it's considering it's a team fighter. It's not a large roster, all things considered, because you use 3 of them. Well, in theory, you would use 3 of them.
Well, yeah, I was about to say they have the ratio system, so you don't have to use 3 of them.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for a fighting game with sheer quantity of characters, yeah, I guess Skullgirls would not necessarily be what you'd look for, but I personally don't mind because I really enjoy the character designs, gameplay wise, and the sprite work is great, music's great. It's just a fun fighting game, and of
Yeah.
course, a lot of the
Yeah.
shit is just hilarious. The lines and shit.
Yeah. For my
How
part, like,
long did we
yeah.
spend on recording just dicking around with Parasol, having that goofy "Get down, Mr. President" dude?
Oh, we did it with Pink too.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he's one of the funniest fighting game moves ever.
Yeah.
Easily.
But yeah, like my thing with schoolgirls is that like, and we discussed this during the schoolgirls recording too, is that just like none of the actual character designs speak to me personally, and or the actual character design, not how they play, but character design wise, how they play. There's also a bit there too, but it's mostly just the aesthetics, where like none of them particularly grab me, and like a lot of it feels like a lot of it feels like a person who mostly like did porn, made the things, which is true. Like the key animator
I
guy,
get that.
like the key
I get
animator
that.
guy, from what I remember, mostly did like porn before the game, and then he got fired for some reason. I forget why. Or they got fired, because I don't know if it was a guy, but still. And then like I see a lot of that in the game, and it's like, yeah, eh. I'm just glad fucking Peacock got off easily, cause oh boy. And like it's like they did remove a lot of the more bad frames from what I understand, but still, like it's there's only so much they can change about how the character plays without just redrawing the whole fucking game, and I don't expect them to do that. And so yeah, like I enjoy playing schoolgirls. I enjoy the freaking. I enjoy some of the references. Some of them are a bit like there are points where the references get too much for me. Like it's there is a certain point where I go, okay, yeah, I get it, but it makes it so I can't really take this game seriously anymore. And like I enjoy the point where that is lost on you, because I watch the videos of the guy who does who is the announcer for the game. So I'm used to how the guy is, like, without being paid to do voice work.
Yeah.
and so there's a bit of a weirdness in that for me. But like, there's just not really a character that I got really attached to.
I can understand that. I'll say that for my part, like there aren't any Skullgirls characters that like especially grab me either, but I'm mostly fine just playing everyone, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, I was looking that up. Yeah, Zone Tan does cameo in the game. One of Matt and Wooly and all them's passing referenced people who I believe is a porn artist. I'm not for certain though, because Matt loved porn, so he was always happy
Yeah.
to be in connection with porn people, which was he's kind of skeevy, but whatever. Either which way, there we go.
Either
Get all
which
that
way,
shit out of there.
either which way, heavyweight champ needs rollback yesterday.
Yes, there we go. Sure, that's the main point to make about Skullgirls is heavyweight champ needs to roll back.
I mean,
Maybe that's what Mike Z will work on now.
I mean, here's the thing: it's not considered a lost video game. We don't know. This is all we have.
Oh man. All right. So that I believe is about all we got to say. Fighting games were.
Yeah,
Fighting
fighting
games
games
were.
were. I can't even
Yeah.
fucking say it. Yeah.